think an actual American is?
Well, what I think a real American is someone that is not racist, not a bigot, but is a good and honest person.
I would say something like that, but it's more like loyal. So exactly what he was saying, just adding on acceptance, I would say.
Yeah, I agree with Braxton and Chase, but yeah, I think that American is somebody that helps and accepts other people, different people.
I agree with Carter because American is not about yourself, self-centered. No, we help other people, and we, if someone's in danger, we help them. And if there's a tragedy like 9/11, pretty much every single state in the United States donated blood. So, yeah.
I have one question to ask you. How would you feel if you were a Muslim after 9/11?
Ignorant. I really don't know, to be honest.
Well, how I would feel is I would feel like not attended, like not included in many other things. And I'll also feel like people are saying like bad thoughts in their heads.
Well, what I would think is that after 9/11, people would judge me and label me and all that. But really, all they need to do is come and get to know me and like, don't just label people. Like, get to know them.
I agree with Adam. And always the saying goes, don't judge a book by its cover. Because, just because he's a Muslim doesn't mean he's going to kill everybody.
Yeah,
He's not a terrorist.
They judge him because of other Muslims' actions, but that can't just mean every Muslim in every country.
Yeah.
That makes them everybody.
Well, I have a question for Adam. How do you think we should reduce stereotypes for Muslims?
Stereotypes?
Yeah, reduce them.
I think that we should start getting to know people and stop just basically what I'm trying to say is that people out there in the world, they're going to hate you, they're not going to like you, but there are some people that are going to be like friends. They're going to be helpful and they're just going to help you through life. But there are going to be some people that are bad and we need support to help bring their self-esteem up and not just let them down and like they're lonely. So I would say just like hang out with them and like say, hey, why not be friends and just, get to know them and just, that's it.
I agree with that, and that is a really good way to reduce stereotypes.
Yeah, that actually reminds me of the article with opinions to growing up a Muslim after 9/11, because he would explain how you should be friends with other people even if they're from foreign countries.
I got a question for all you guys. Did anybody see a Muslim and think they were bad or terrorists before we even started this discussion?
Yes, kind of.
Yeah.
Raise your hand
Not
if you
everybody.
did. Just
I would just say like, yeah,
raise
but
them.
I would just think about it. The first thing I would say, think is about looking at what you dated.
Well, let's ask the question, how did your perception change?
Yeah.
Okay, if that was the case and you did find yourself stereotyping, how did your perception change after our class discussion? Haley, go ahead.
I realized that not everybody can control what other people of their race can do. Like, you can't take what one person did and everyone like that person and put them all in that same category. Because there are friendly people and there are not friendly people, and you can't exactly stereotype a whole country for what one person has done.
I agree with Haley because the passage said about that guy being a Muslim after 9/11. It said that the true Muslim faith is peace and not kill, but the terrorists that did 9/11, they just got the kill part out of that faith and did it. But the true Muslim faith is just, peace, world peace, and I guess that's pretty much it.
Well, let's move on to the next question, shall we? Number 2 says, explain how acts of perseverance inspires others.
Well, it inspires them to just keep on going and not give up. Because if you give up, you'll never accomplish things. But if you persevere and get through it, you can accomplish things.
Like for tearing hope even when after the destruction of 9/11, they kept hope, they built on, they rebuilt hope, like an example of the Freedom Tower.
I agree with Chase because also it helps people not be afraid. Like if there's something going on in your life and somebody's trying to push you down from the goal you're trying to reach, I mean, perseverance from another person that might cheer you up or make you, I guess, happy might inspire you to reach that goal in life.
I also agree with Josh because what I think is that when we got hit and all that happened, we were like, hey, we're America, we're not gonna back down. And so we kept on going and we started to build up and we never gave up. And that's what other countries see us as. We are a country that does not give up and is great in every way.
Braxton, what was your article and how did it tie into 9/11?
Mine? I think mine was George W. Bush one. And he, after 9/11, a few days after, he inspired others to keep out and responded, and he was trying to make them feel safe, what the tone of his voice.
All right, you've got 30 seconds to meet with your coaches.
I think what initials, that was
Well, it's okay, don't worry about it. That means they spoke without someone asking them.
This is what I checked. I didn't follow S and L guidelines on assessment. Improvement
All right, let's take our seats. All right, ready for round 2? Jane, I'm gonna let you go ahead and start this one off.
Okay, how does a person, community, and a country find hope after a tragedy? I said they came together and they rebuilt, and even though that tragedy happened, they rebuilt and they had perseverance.
Yeah, I agree with that. That is a completely justified answer. And Carter, what did you think? How does a person, community, or country find hope after a tragedy? What do you think it was?
They come together and really gather hope.
Oh, yeah.
I agree with all of you guys. How does a community or country find tragedy after a hope? Hope after a tragedy. Take our country as an example of the tragedy of 9/11 and think how other people gave blood, the Freedom Tower that we built, the Survivor Tree. We came back pretty strong and we didn't the terrorists what terrorists want to do is they try to scare other people and make them afraid. But our country wasn't afraid. We did not back down. We came together and we rebuilt.
I also want to build on Josh's saying that I also think that the movie trailer that we watched was pretty fascinating because these people, the firefighters and policemen that went into the building, that the building literally collapsed. This tall of a building collapsed on top of them.
Wait, how would you feel if you were in that building?
I don't think I would even be in that building. I think I would just, I'm too scared to even go to
I have a
that
question
building.
for everybody. What do you think the survivor tree would have meant to you if you witnessed 9/11?
I would think it meant hope and survival.
I also agree because think of yourself as a family or relative that has been hurt by 9/11, and you go see the memorial and you go see the Freedom Tower and their survivor tree. It's pretty much telling you there is hope, and don't back down or don't be scared.
I agree with Josh on that because even though people were dying and buildings were collapsing, there were some people who were even still willing to help others, even in all the face of terror that was happening.
How does the tree itself, though? What aspects of the tree, Carter, you can go ahead. What aspects of the tree do symbolize that hope? How does it symbolize that hope?
It shows that anything can survive even such a devastating attack, and it grew, like it got better after it, and that symbolizes
So
hope.
it also symbolizes rebuilding hope.
Yeah,
Rebuilding.
because it got better.
I also think it's kind of like, I say it's kind of like the Twin Towers itself. Collapsing ash on the tree and fire on it, and then they came together and rebuilt the tree. And what happened to the Twin Towers when they fall? They rebuilt it, and they built the Freedom Tower.
Julian, what do you think?
I have to agree with all of you because if the tree, it survived the towers collapsing, and when they nursed it back to health and replanted it where it was, it kept growing, and so it basically just survived.
Let's move on to the next.
Hey, Julian, I actually have a question for you. How would you help people if you were there at the 9/11 attacks?
I just try to go in the building and get as many people out as I could.
I agree with Julian, but I think that we would all try to be in there, but some of us probably couldn't do that, and so I think we would just try to help the people who are helping, like give water to firefighters and stuff like that.
I agree.
Try to help the people helping.
I agree with Haley because pretty much no one here, well maybe, but has the, I don't know, courage to go in a building that's on fire and people are in ash, and you never know, like if another plane could hit the building or a missile. I mean, it would be pretty scary to go in. And just this, like the fact of it burning, and not only just it burning, but it was melting the steel. That's why it collapsed. It was literally melting the steel.
What do you
I
think,
agree too,
Chase?
but let's move on.
Well, I think the building collapse is with the trajectory of the plane hitting the tower. It had to break it. Broke some of the supports, and then, as Josh said, the rest must have melted away.
All right, let's move on.
Let's go to number 5. How can we cultivate tolerance in our school, community, and country? What I think is that we can talk to people that are not familiar with the 9/11 attack, and we can say how you should not label these people. Even as Haley said, you can't blame a whole country for one set of group and act that they did. You can't just label, oh well, all of them are just the same too. You can't do that. You have to educate and learn about it, and then you can start getting to know them and that whole process.
I
The
agree
way
with
we
that
handle-
because 99% of Muslims do not believe in Al Qaeda, and that's not enough to have a stereotype.
They started talking real bad with me after that because you gotta admit, if you were watching 9/11 and you saw what happened, it would just go in your mind. You wouldn't be focusing on other Muslims. You wouldn't be focusing on them and how it reflected on other Muslims by saying how it made them look very bad. And you would just think as other Muslims as evil just because of what they did.
All right, You've got about 30 seconds. Meet back with your coach. See if you did improve, and have your final discussion.
When my mom
Go right back up to Alright, so anything, but even though I was right, what do you think the most thing I need to money?
All right, let's go ahead and switch.
Walter, get your paper.